is The Brenda Lee Show. The Brenda Lee Show.
Hey, welcome back to the Brenda Lee Show. Hey, today, you guys, I want to share a story with you, and we're going to discuss the difference between intentions versus goals and why having an intention is so much more important than actually having a goal that you want to achieve, okay? And so I want to share this story with you. I was reading this excerpt from a book from Kevin Cease, written by Kevin Cease, and I was reading it out loud to my son while he was doing some of his chores a couple weeks ago, and he was prepping kind of mentally for a football game that he had coming up. And as I was reading the difference between goals and intention and explaining to him, like, intention is so much more powerful. It's something that drives us so much deeper. He kind of stops and he looks at me. He's like, well, Mom, he's like, does that mean that we're not supposed to have goals? And I said, let me ask you this question, buddy. I said, what's your goal for your football game on Friday? And he's like, well, to win. And I was like, well, yeah. I was like, have you won a football game before? And he's like, well, yeah. And I was like, and have you lost a football game before? And he's like, yeah. And I said, well, what if you went into the game this weekend and you set an intention that no matter what, every single time your feet hit the field, every play that you made, no matter what, unequivocally, you would give 100% of you. You would give every ounce of you for that play, every play, one play at a time. And he kind of looked at me and you could tell his wheels were turning, right? And he's kind of thinking, he's like, okay, he's like, I can buy into this a little bit, whatever. And I said, what would happen for you if you reframed and redefined what a win was? What if a win for you was that you had an intention to go play your best every single play, and you followed through on that intention and that promise that you made to yourself, so that every play that you had, you were stacking wins upon win for your own self, just because you went out and you performed at your peak performance that you could give that day. It doesn't mean it was your best all time or whatever it means. And you might mess up, right? But if you're going out with the intention to give your best every single play, what would that feel like? Well, I'll tell you what, you guys, they got their freaking derriere handed to them on that game, right? Totally lost. However, my son did not come off the field the way that he normally did. He came off the field with the biggest grin I have ever seen on his face. And you want to know why? That kid went out and every play, he laid it all out on that field. He had an interception. He ran a play from the opposite end of the end zone, nearly all the way down for a touchdown, for close to be a touchdown. It should have been. He got tackled right at the 11th hour, which was a bummer. But the bottom line is he went out and he played every ounce of him in every single play. And he gave it his all. And the achievement that he felt and the success that he felt and the wins that he stacked in his corner were like superseded any idea that he lost that game in any way, shape, or form. And so I really want to invite you to consider today, where are you setting goals versus intentions? And in fact, full transparency, I realize this. I'm doing 75 hard. I am like day 15 in and crushing it. And so are several of my people that are doing it with me. And so as I was evaluating this intention thing, I've really been ruminating about this. And what does this really mean in my life on the daily? What does it mean in everything I do? What does it mean in how I drive? What does it mean in how I communicate with my friends? What does it mean in how I communicate with my clients? What does it mean in how I desire to resolve a conflict? If we go into a conflict with an intention of I'm right, you're wrong, then we're never going to come to a resolution, and you're going to continually be in combat with people. If you go into a conversation with the intention of, I hope we can resolve this no matter what, and I seek to understand your perspective, and I desire to understand where you're coming from, and I hope you desire to understand where I'm coming from too, and we can see each other as human beings and get to a resolution that works for both of us, instead of, like I said, right or wrong. Or even with the working out, and that's where I was going with the 75 hard, right? With working out, where it's like, it's really easy to slip into this, I'm just checking the box. I'm checking the box of getting things done. And it's easy to forget, what is my intention for working out? Is my intention to do the reps and check the box? Or is my intention to push myself, to stretch myself, to transform my body, to push myself to failure, to feel fatigue and keep going? Is it to expand my pain level? Is it to expand my tolerance of exhaustion? What is my intention, right? And think of it this way when you connect with your kids, right? If it's something where we've got to just go in and be with them and chat with them. And we're like, okay, I got to do this 5 minutes a day. Some people say like you must have at least 5 minutes of connection with your kids a day in order for them to feel grounded or whatever. And I'm like, geez, 5 minutes, that's not much at all. However, if you go into that intention of, I'm just going to give my 5 minutes of duty, and you're listening to them without really listening to them and without really being present, your intention is going to be different than if you go in with the intention of, I desire to connect deeply with you. I desire to show you, kid, son, daughter, whatever it might be, that I absolutely love and adore you and I'm here for you. I desire to know you more today and understand who you are more as a human. And so I just really, like I said, it's been something that I've been ruminating so much lately. And I want to invite you into looking at areas in your life where things that you do on the mundane, things that you do on the regular, and evaluate what your intention is. And I really want to see, does this change the way in which you engage with that activity? Does it change the way you drive? If you go with the intention of, I've got plenty of time, I'm going to get there, I'm going to enjoy this drive, whether a wreck stops you, whether traffic stops you, whether you get pulled over from a speeding ticket because you're speeding and your intention was to have a good time, whatever it might be, right? Like whatever your intention might be. I would love to see what your life would look like. And I want to hear in the comments, just choose one thing. Just choose one thing this week that you're going to shift your intention and see how this redirects the way that you feel about that activity. See how this redirects your performance maybe at work. If you've got a project that you're delaying and you have been focused on the frustration that you don't want to deal with it and you are ignoring this and you're just pretending that you don't have to deal with it. What if you shift your intention to, I'm going to grow and stretch and push myself with this project. I am excited to learn how to do new things. I'm excited to discover how to adapt and to change and to stretch myself in a way that I couldn't before, in a way that I'm going to grow my career. I'm going to grow my team maybe around me. I'm going to grow the employees around me, whatever it might be. Maybe it's a client that you don't want to deal with, that you're frustrated with, that they just seem to be bucking up against things. And your intention is to love them well instead of be frustrated at the pushback that you're getting. And you set the intention for your life in every area to seek the good for every circumstance and every engagement that you have with people, right? Where we get to just show our love. We get to give the intention of our love to other people around us, no matter how they behave, no matter how they are frustrated, no matter how much they push back, no matter what they may or may not do, no matter how many temper tantrums your kids might have, no matter how many times your boss might snap at you the way that you get so frustrated about. What if your intention in life was to just give love and to really seek to honor people where they're at and understand maybe they're talking out of anger, maybe they're frustrated, maybe they're not having the best day, maybe they got handed divorce papers 5 minutes before you walked into their office, or they just got notice that their mom died and they've now got to plan a funeral or whatever it might be. What if we just set the intention for our life to be one that gives people and ourselves, I mean, we can only give or get what we have for ourselves. What if we give the intention to ourselves first of love so that we get to give that to all those around us? So even when people behave in a way that we're frustrated about or sad or disappointed about, we can still honor them and we can still love them and we can still do right by them and we can still do what would be best for the relationship, regardless of how we're feeling. And like I said, that boils down to, we can only give or get what we have for ourselves first. So it starts with our intentions of our fitness, of the way we communicate with ourselves, right? Is the intention of the way I talk to myself to encourage myself or to tear myself down and cause self-doubt? Is it to encourage the possibilities of things or to tear things down and constantly question who I am and what my worth is and what my value is and all of those things. And so like I said, I want you to pick just one thing this week, if you would be willing, and decide to shift your intention to something that you just get inspired about, that sets your heart on fire, that gives you passion where you're like, I can buy into that. I may hate working out, but I can buy into, I want to treat my car like my body like a Porsche. And so I'm going to push myself to the limits and I'm going to feel what it feels like to have the that level of horsepower under the engine, and I'm going to stretch myself this way this week with my workouts instead of, holy crap, I got to go to the gym and do my workouts, right? So I want you to comment what's happening for you as you do this. Let us know how this shifts and how this changes things for you. And make sure you like and subscribe and share this with somebody who you would like to join with you, maybe on a intention journey, and see how you and the people around you can shift your intention in the way that you're living your life. Because as we know, we say all the time, you become the 6th of the top 5 you hang out with. So choose wisely. And if you've got some people that you would love to up level with you, have them have a listen in and have them join you with an intention challenge.